Have you driven a new car?
Yes.
Like, have you owned a new car?
My latest car is brand new.
That's advice that I wish I would have had.
Has it changed now that you can actually go right out and just buy a new car if you want to?
I don't look at him that way, no.
Talk a little bit about your feelings on what Dave Ramsey talks about, because he obviously dispenses a lifetime and more worth of advice.
He's written a lot of books.
Yeah.
A lot of people look at him as this wealth, financial, money guru.
And do you?
I don't look at him that way, no.
So we're going to run down a few of the things that he talks about, if you'll excuse me. He talks about creating a zero-based budget with the envelope system. Thoughts, feelings?
I've actually used those type systems before. It can be great to kind of plan where your money is. So I can see where Dave's coming from here.
Okay.
Instead of just like, let's just buy it and let's see how much money's left over.
Yeah.
When I do have a plan, so there is strength to creating a budget, yeah.
But you never used the envelope system that he espouses?
I have used different softwares in the past that have done that. Admittedly, though, I see my income as different, because somebody that's got a W-2 income, you know what to expect every month. And so a budget is clearly like, you're not going to make any more, you're not going to make any less. And so it makes sense to totally budget it. So I did mistakenly think that, well, I'm different. I don't need that because I'm going to make more money than I planned, right? So in recent, I've talked to you about how I had to actually set aside and put money in savings first. When I do follow, that is a strategy that I wish I would have followed more. I think it is a sound strategy to be budget smart.
Okay, well, so our first Dave Ramsey bit of advice you're pretty good with. Next one, stop buying new cars.
So I've bought both used cars and new cars. Don't buy a new car if it's going to strain your budget. Like, I could see how somebody that's got a W-2 income, a car does depreciate.
Right, the minute you drive it off the lot, as they say, yeah.
And so I can see that, but have you driven a new car?
Yes,
like, have you owned a new car?
My latest car is brand new.
It's kind of cool.
It is nice. No, I believe me, I've had brand new cars before. My wife was always against it because of the depreciation and things like that. But right now, I couldn't resist because used car prices were so high, they were almost higher and harder to find than a new car. So
yeah, I was helping my mom. We were looking at, what if we get a car? She was looking at a Toyota that's a year or two old. We were looking at prices and a brand new, and it's pretty much apples to apples. And so
let me ask you this. Is your feeling about what Dave Ramsey says about stop buying new cars, has it changed now that you can actually go right out and just buy a new car if you want to?
Well,
it has to.
Most
right?
people go to Dave Ramsey for advice because they want to be wealthy. And none of his advice is going to make you wealthy. It's going to keep you in kind of the scarcity, like budgeting.
It's not risk taking.
I'm not sounding like I'm giving very...
But he's not a risk. He doesn't advise that we take risks is kind of what you're saying. You have to take risks financially to some extent in order to become wealthy.
Yeah, every risk that I take, though, it's really mitigated. I really don't like taking big risks.
Okay.
I don't like speculative things.
Yeah. All right, Dave Ramsey's next bit of advice that he likes to spout off about is buying them. And these all seem, to me, like pretty good. But to you, you have your feelings. Buy a modest home you can afford. How could you possibly not appreciate that advice?
Well, that's if your home is 100% an expense and a liability.
And not a business.
The reality is, like, if you're using a home for a business, or you're using your home as a real estate investment, like, you're buying a home not to minimize the price, but to maximize the return.
Right, okay.
But Dave, anytime he's talking about buying a home, it's always because it's a liability. Same thing with a car. Like, the reality is, I bought a car, I bought a Tesla Model Y, I bought it brand new, and it's putting money into my pocket because I'm renting it out on Turo.
Okay, so maybe just his audience differs from yours. In other words, why we would ask about buying a new home or a new car versus a used, or buying an opulent, beautiful big home as opposed to a dump. You would say, well, what's it for? He would say, well, I know what it's for. It's for you. It's a liability, so keep it cheap.
And I also think that the perspective's different. Instead of saying, hey, if you want to become wealthy, you've got to buy a home that you can easily afford. It's like, I would look at it as like, well, what is your dream home? Don't go buy it right now. But what's your dream home? What's it going to cost? You know, and then how are we going to get there? How are we going to scale up your income so that's a reality? That's a conversation that I like to have. And it's a different mindset. If you're focusing on one, there's not going to be growth.
Right. So it's sound advice depending on who's asking. Okay, next, Dave Ramsey, bit of wisdom. Keep your current cell phone. I assume he means don't upgrade with every upgrade that comes out. Is that what he's talking about?
Yeah, I can see that. I've got the iPhone 11, and what are we on now? 13.
Yeah.
So there's a time and a reason to upgrade. So here's
It's the only reason I would
this
upgrade.
is one that I'll say, you know what, it's you want to keep up with the Joneses, you want to have the latest and greatest. But the reality is, when I started a videography business, I was using my iPhone 4S for years, and I didn't have to get a DSLR.
It's like this big.
I didn't have to even upgrade to the latest iPhone because it worked. It was adequate. And a lot of people think, well, okay, I want my videos to look professional. The phone that you've got, no matter what version, in the last several years, that's going to blow away anything that we had previously. I mean, obviously Apple, and I'm a big fan of Apple. Their products are great, but their products also last a good while. They're
quality.
good, and like you don't need the latest greatest.
Only in the 21st century can you start a photography / videography business with your phone. I mean, it's like, that's good enough. It's better than a lot of the...
So sadly, I will have to agree with Dave Ramsey on this
So
one.
far, you're not batting a million with the disagreeing. But maybe as we get further down the list, next, Dave Ramsey, bit of financial advice. Pay off your credit card balances each month. That sounds like good sense. But I have a feeling you're going to say it depends. Is it personal credit cards or is it business credit cards?
The biggest thing that I hear from Dave Ramsey or Susie Orman about credit cards is they'll talk about you'll have this balance. And I've had some big credit cards back when I was not using them correctly. I even had one, maybe a $10,000 balance on this credit card. And what advice I was given is you've got to pay these off. So any extra money that you have left over, you've got to pay down your credit card.
Yeah.
And they'll have all these strategies of, well, find the one that's got the biggest interest rate or the biggest balance or whatever, and they calculate, okay, you got to send your extra money to this one and pay this one off first and then take that money. And what I found that actually is easier is, and it'll help you pay off your debts faster, get out of that debt, is to pay your minimum payments, but to pay yourself and put money into savings and start building up that nest egg and just pay that minimum payment. It takes off the pressure, the stress. A little bit back on that, when I would pay down a credit card, I didn't have any money in savings. And so when an emergency hit or revenues were lower one month,
right,
I would just max out my credit card again. So paying him down and having all my extra money go to paying down credit cards actually caused more stress, and I would end up maxing out my credit cards again. It was just an endless cycle. But when I shifted and I would take my surplus and I put it into savings and just pay the minimum payment, the stress was gone. Because if I had a rough month, I had money, I could still make my minimum payments. Sure. But that savings continued to grow and to grow and to grow. And eventually I thought, you know what? I can just pay off the balance on this whole card and I'll still have money in savings. So eventually I was just able to quickly wipe out every single one of those credit cards.
That's kind of what you hope for, because that interest that's accruing through a credit card company, by just doing the minimum payment, you want to curtail that as soon as you can.
That's advice that I wish I would have had. The advice that he's saying here is pay off your balance. Like, that is obviously the so smart way. And
if you're in a position to do so, though, not everyone is.
If you don't have any debt and you get a credit card, only buy things with your credit card that you have money in your checking account already. So then you buy it with your credit card. Oh, cool. Now you've got credit history. Pay it off.
Yeah.
So you do want to pay off your balance every time, but
But basically the old adage, if you can't afford it, don't buy it. Because having a credit card doesn't mean that you can afford it. That just means that you're going to be paying off that item for the rest of your life with interest, which is, yeah. Okay, so far, I mean, you and Dave Ramsey are like...
There are 3 different ways that I work with people. My course, my done-for-you service, and my inner circle, brand new this year. Okay, my course is DIY, do it yourself, but it's my complete strategy. You go through 10 weeks, 10 modules that will help you get the ball rolling and generate momentum with the exact strategy that I use on all 27 channels that I produce. My done-for-you service is what clients like Noel Randall use, where we do all the filming, we do all the editing, the thumbnail design, the launch, we monitor the analytics, and help these channels improve month after month after month. Now, my inner circle is for 6-figure business owners that want to take their business to 7 figures and really want to scale their YouTube channel as well. You get a taste of our done-for-you service where we just launch 1 episode per week. You're also a part of a community with other business owners that want to learn and implement the same strategy, and we have 4 quarterly retreats. Now, the studio houses where you'll be filmed, either here in Utah or in Orlando, Florida, are also big enough that that's where we're going to have our quarterly retreats. If you're ready for a strategy session with me to discuss whether my course, the inner circle, or my done-for-you service is a fit for you, then go to my website, BeTheHeroStudios.com. I'll link to it below, and anywhere on that page, click Learn More, and I'll chat with you then. If you don't have a good credit score, you can't have any good debt either.
And I go, yeah, but I kind of wanted that. I like seeing that in the bank. It's pretty. Oh, look at all those little zeros.
But then what if an emergency came up? You don't have an emergency fund. It's like...
Yeah, you would be an aggressive investor.